My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. A good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. A hired man who is not a shepherd and whose sheep are not his own sees a wolf coming and leaves the sheep and runs away, and the wolf catches and scatters them. This is because he works for pay and has no concern for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know mine, and mine know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I will lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold. These also I must lead, and they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock, one shepherd. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The image of Jesus as the Good Shepherd is a very early image in the Church's history. Some of the catacomb paintings of the 3rd century already depict him as the shepherd who holds up in his arms a sheep. And the image is one that's also very richly part of the tradition of the Old Testament, that many times God has spoken about in the context of being not just the husband sometimes, as some of the prophets speak of the bride of Israel, but sometimes as well as the shepherd. And it was actually an official title of the kings of Israel following the formation of the kingdom as we understood it. And in each instance, of course, it kind of drew upon the experience of the people. Many of them were nomadic tribes who did have sheep, and it was a very, very common occupation. And so they could automatically relate with the significance of what that was, and also the danger that was inherent in it in trying to protect the sheep. Jesus, of course, in the gospel today tells us point blank that he is indeed the good shepherd, who will watch after his sheep, who will not walk away from them, who will be before them. And during the course of history, there have been countless individuals, because of their witness to the gospel, who have tended to take on essentially the same kind of occupation. Paul in the first reading speaks about the fact that even though it was difficult and sometimes he was persecuted for it, he had to continue to be consistently true to the message and to continue to guide the sheep, guide the faithful towards that message of Christ. And in turn, Boniface, who we remember in a special way today, the martyr, during his ministry did essentially the same. What was true then continues to be true today. Pope Francis likes to use the little images that the leaders of the church have to be able to smell their sheep. They have to have a sense of what they're like, which is a very kind of a crude way of speaking of a relationship and a reality that must be there. And so surely it is a moment of conscience for all leaders in the community to be attuned to the fact that they cannot be distant from, but be very much in the midst of those that they are called to serve. Today then, let us pray as we gather at this Eucharist that will happen essentially in our lives as well.